Welcome to this quick guide on expression in NX. So expressions are like a simple math formulas or rules that help to control the size and shape of your design. So instead of changing every part one by one, you can use the expression to link the dimensions together. So when you change one number, the rest of them is going to update automatically. So this makes designing easier, faster, and it helps to avoid the mistakes. So expression help you to create a smart models that can change quickly without any extra works. So without wasting our time, let's get started on how we can create a expression based modeling. So I'm going to show you three levels of expression modeling: basic, intermediate, and then advanced level. So first we will just move on to basic level. Okay, so here I'm going to just go to a new file and let us create a simple file with a model. Okay, so I'll just select a model and I'll just click OK. And in this one I will be showing you one rectangle block with a center hole. Okay, so we are going to control this with the expressions. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into sketcher environment on the top plane. Okay, and I'll just hit OK. And here I'm going to create a rectangle, so I will just go to rectangle and here is my rectangle. So now once you draw a rectangle, so we need to define these dimension using a expressions. So how we are going to do, we'll just hit Control E. So this will open an expression window, and here we are going to go to user defined expressions, and I'm going to create a expression here. So this is going to be a width which is W, and I'm just going to give it as a 500 mm. And then one more expression I'm going to define as a H, and that is going to be 300 mm. Okay, so these are the two expressions I have defined. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a dimension for this, and this I'm going to right click and add a expression, and this is going to be my W. Okay, you can just click OK. So now this is whatever the dimension is there, it is W. So similarly I'm going to give this, and I'll just right click, go to add a remove extension and expressions. So here I'm going to give it as a H. Okay, so now you can see this is our H and this is our, so this way I'm going to control the width and height of this rectangle. Okay, so now whenever you give any expressions that are recorded in this, you can see here user expressions. So one is H and another one is W. So I'm going to finish this sketch, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more expression, that is for extrude. So that is going to be X, and this extrude is going to be maybe 30 mm. Okay, or else what you can do is I'm going to make this as H divided by 10. Okay, so it is nothing but whatever the H dimension that you provide, it should be, it is going to divide that by 10, and then it will take it as an X. Okay, so now we'll just click OK, and I'm going to extrude this sketch. So go to extrude, select this sketch, and then I'm going to give an extrude as a X. So I'll just hit X, and I'll just click OK. So now whatever the extrude is, whatever the distance that is there for extrude is going to be 300 divided by 10. Okay, and in this one again I'm going to create a one more hole here. So I'll just go to sketcher environment on this plane. Okay, I'll just click OK. So now I'll just create a simple circle here, and then there is a dimension for this. Okay, this is the dimension, and again from here to here there is a dimension. Okay, so So now what I'm going to do is whatever the height is there, so this I'm going to make it as divided by 2, and here also I'll just make it as a width divided by 2, so that whatever the circle will be there, that will be always in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go to this, so add a expression. So this expression is going to be h divided by 2. Okay, and then I'll just double click on it, right click, add or remove the expressions. So this is going to be w divided by 2. Okay, so now in this way, whenever this circle creates, so whenever I will change the particular width and height, it is going to come in the center, and then we are going to provide this particular diameter. So diameter is going to be again, I will just make it as a expression. Okay, so before that, let me define an diameter with the d, and it is going to be h divided by 2. Okay, and you can just click OK. Now this I'm going to add an expression which is nothing but a d. Okay, so now you can see our model is done. I'll just finish the sketch. And here what I have to do is I have given extrude as a 10 mm. You can see x as a h divided by 10, which is nothing but 300 divided by 10, which is 30. So now I want to remove this material by half of this particular extrude. So in that case, what you can do is we'll just go to extrude and select this sketch. And here again, what I'm going to do is I'll just make it as a constant, and this way, if I want to reduce it to half, we'll just give x divided by 2. So x divided by 2, and you can just click OK. So in this way, we'll just make it as a reverse direction and subtract it from the body. Okay. So now we can see our expression model, simple model is completed. And now say for example, height and width, suppose if you want to change anything. So for example, width, I'm going to make it as a 1000. So it is going to update according to the width that whatever we have provided. So if I give 500, so it is going to update the 500. So now whatever the circle or whatever the hole that is we have created, it will be always at the center of this particular rectangle. So suppose if I give it as a 5000, and then whatever this I'm going to give it as a 5000. Okay, so when I give it as a 5000 and 5000, you can see this is the model that we are going to get. So in this basic expression modeling, we have just controlled the hole along with the width and height of the extrude. So now let us move on to the intermediate level of expression modeling. So in this intermediate level, what we are going to do is we are going to create a same rectangle with a simple hole. So whenever the rectangle width and height is going to increase, in that time, whatever the hole that is there, it is going to multiply. It is going to pattern in the way you are going to increase the width and height of the particular rectangle. So in order to do that, what I'll do is I'll just go to sketch environment, and on the top plane, I'll just go and I'll just create a simple rectangle. Okay, so this is the simple rectangle, and I'm going to give Control E, and I'll just create width as 200 and height as a 100. Okay, so now let's click OK, and this is going to be my expression. So this is going to be our width. Okay, now whatever this dimension is going to be our height. Okay, so this is the height and this is the width, which is 200 and 100. So you can see our user expressions here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to okay, so first let us extrude this. So I'll just go to extrude. In this way, in this model, I'm not going to control the extrude. So let me go to extrude and select this sketch, and I'll just provide it as 10 mm. Okay, So once this is done, what I'm going to do is I'll just go to sketcher environment on this particular plane. Okay, and here I'm going to draw a simple circle. Okay, so this is the circle and this diameter is going to be 30. Okay, and whatever the distance from here to here, I'm going to provide it as a 50 mm, and whatever this distance is going to be, this I'm making it as a h divided by 2. So h divided by 2, so it means it will be always in the center. Okay, so I'm going to finish this, and now what we can do is we'll just go to click and extrude and select this. It should be in the opposite direction. We'll just click OK. So now our expression should work in such a way that, so whenever the length of this particular rectangle increases, the hole should also increase. So how we are going to do that? So we'll just go to pattern feature. So here I'm going to select a extrude. Okay, and my vector will be along this direction. So in this direction, what is going to be my span? Okay, the span is going to be w minus 100. Okay, so w minus 100. So the total, the next count is going to come here, span, so which is w minus 100. So 100 mm less than this w length. Okay, and here in the count I'm going to provide it as a w divided by 100. So whatever the w you will provide, say for example if you are given 200, only two holes are going to come. Suppose if you give 500 mm, the 5 holes are going to come. So now I'll just click OK. So this is what we have. So now, so the next what I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase this by 800 mm. So if I get 800 mm, you can see we have 8 holes which are generated by default on this plate. And if you reduce the height, so height we are not going to control. So only thing is if you give the height, it is going to come in the middle. Say for example, if I give 250, so whatever the hole is there, that is going to come in the middle. So this kind of modeling, we can call it as a intermediate expression modeling. So now we are going to move into an advanced level of modeling. So in this one, what we are going to do is we are going to make an assembly of two components. Whenever you are going to change the dimensions in one of the model, it is going to update the other model. So that is how we are going to make it. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'll just go to create a new assembly file. So I'll just go to create an assembly and I'll just click OK. Okay, so here inside this, I'm going to create one of the component. Okay, so let us give it as a model 3. And there is one more model I'm going to create. So that is going to be model 4. Okay, so in this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a model. Okay, so for here, what I'm going to do is I'll just go to sketcher environment on this particular plane. Okay, so I'll just create a corner here. Okay, so this is my modeling, and this is, I'm going to give it as a 800 mm. So this is the complete dimensions. So now I'm going to control this height and as well as this angle and this circle diameter. Okay, so these are the things that I'm going to control. So height, angle, and this diameter. So I'm going to give the dimensions for this. So I'll just hit Control E, and one is diameter. Okay, so that diameter is going to be, you can see here, 50 mm. So let us give it as a 50. Okay, and then I'm going to control the h height, which is going to be 200. And then we have an angle here, so this I'm going to give it as a. And now in this one I'm going to enter 70, and this is going to be not a length, it is going to be an angle. Okay, so now these are the dimensions. So these dimensions I'm going to define it here. Okay, so this is going to be our h. So go to here and give it as h. Okay, and this is going to be my angle, so which is nothing but a, and this is going to be my diameter, which is nothing but d. Okay, so now we are going to control these three by using our expressions. So these are our expressions a, d and h. Okay, so now let me finish this sketch. Okay, so before doing that, I'm going to make this mirror. Okay, so go to mirror curve, mirror this along with this. Okay, finish the sketch. So I'm going to extrude this. So let me extrude this maybe 300 mm. Okay, let's click OK. So in this one, what I'm going to do is I'll just go to sketcher environment on this plane again. Okay. So here I'm going to remove the material by using one of the rectangle. Okay, so this dimension is going to be 200, and from this to this it is going to be 50. Okay, so I'm going to remove this material, just finish this sketch and go to extrude, and I'll just select opposite direction and I'll just remove this material. Okay, so in this one, what I'm going to do is this is the first model, so I'll just hit control save so that it will be saved in your desktop. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just go to our assembly file. So this is our assembly and model 2. I'm going to create a model 2. Okay, so in the model 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the expressions for this model into the expressions for model 4. So how we can do, you can just hit control E. Okay, and you can see here create multiple interpart expressions. So you can just go to here model 3, and these are the 3 dimensions we need. So you can just click on this, click OK, and you can just go to all dimensions. You can see these are the dimensions a, d, h, which is taken from the other part, so you cannot able to edit it because it is locked. Okay, now you can just click OK. So now here I'm going to create a simple sketch again. So I'll just go to sketcher environment. Okay, so now we need to provide a expression. So what are the expression that we are going to control? This angle, height, and then this diameter. So we are going to give it as an expression. So just right click, add an expressions. This is going to be our h. Okay, and now this is going to be an angle. Okay, and this is going to be our d. So that's all. So I'm going to finish the sketch, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this. Okay, form value is 50. Okay, maybe let us give some gap here, so 55 mm, and this is going to be maybe some around 245. Okay, it's fine. So I'll just click OK. So once I go to assembly, you can see this is our model now. Okay, so now whenever you go to expression from this model and you're going to change this angle to maybe 60°. Okay, and then this diameter of the hole to be 70, and this height if you do it by 300. Okay, so now if you see, your model is going to update on this one. So here whatever the extrude is there, that you need to change it. So how we are going to change? We'll just go to here, and this I'm going to make it as aligned with this edge. Okay, this is going to be 0. So I'll just give You can see here our model is updated. So whenever you change the dimensions on this model, it is going to update on this model as well. You can see even the holes, angle, everything is matching. So this way you can use this advanced level of expressions. So I'm going to bring one more video on expressions to show you in the better way. So please subscribe to my channel and hit a like button as well as share my videos. Thank you guys.